The Prince Albert Sports Hall of Fame is proud to recognize Elizabeth Tanaski in the athlete category. Elizabeth Tanaski was an accomplished all-around athlete, but it was the sport of soccer where she made her mark.
She played a lot, and she would do things like she'd do things with both feet, and she was very much like a kid who could do things for just a long period of time.
She was a multi-sport athlete, and so I got to witness her play soccer from an outsider perspective, and then I got to coach Elizabeth as well. I coached her in basketball, and so I got to see her just thrive in the sporting world for a number of reasons. She was an elite talent.
My first memories would be just playing sports at home, more so than organized sports. My dad was a real trooper and would let me, take some shots on him or throw the ball at him or throw me pop flies or whatever it was that I wanted to do.
Elizabeth started playing soccer at the age of 5 in a co-ed league, where she would win a number of house league championships. By the time she was 12, she started playing Celtic soccer and began to really make a name for herself.
My dad, I don't know if he called me or I called home or whatever, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Elizabeth scored like 8 goals tonight." And I was like, "Oh really? I didn't know she scored any goals." And he was like, "Well, you know what? She didn't. But the girl who normally scores all our goals played in net tonight, and since we didn't have anybody else to score goals, she, I guess, decided to take that role upon herself and scored 8 of them. And ever since then, she scored a lot of goals."
She played with the Celtics for 5 years and won the Golden Boot and MVP for the Provincial Soccer League in 2003. She was also the Saskatchewan Soccer Association MVP in 2006 and 2007 and the Youth Player of the Year.
She's somebody who's a quiet leader. She's not someone who wants to take center stage or wants to be the voice of people or represent everybody, but she leads through her example, which I think speaks so much more to her character than someone who just simply talks the talk of what a team should do or should be.
She was someone that would lead through, I wouldn't say she was overly vocal in the sense where she was like a rah-rah type of player, but she was someone that would lead in her compete levels, both in practices. She hated losing, even in training sessions.
Yeah, you ask anybody that knows me, I'm competitive in every aspect of my life. So yes, from a young age, I was very competitive in anything that I was doing, sports or card games or whatever it was.
My earliest memory of Liz is from around when she was 12 and we were in PA at her parents' house outside trying to break our juggling records with the soccer ball. And I remember being in awe of how good she was. And so I think that competitive side is something that I saw early on, which definitely carried over into her university days.
And because she was had such a high level of compete, the whole team would thrive because of that compete level.
Her skills caught the eye of the University of Saskatchewan Huskies, who recruited her to begin playing in 2007. She started her Huskies career off strong and was named the Husky Athletics Female Rookie of the Year for the 2007-2008 season.
Liz, as a teammate during Huskies, was so reliable and so consistent. It didn't matter who we were playing, you knew that she was showing up in the mind frame of like, we're gonna win, she's gonna give it her all, and more often than not, you're gonna see Liz's name on the scoreboard.
During her time as a member of the Huskies, she was a 5-time Huskies Golden Boot winner and a 4-time Huskies MVP. She was named to the Canada West All-Star team in 2008, 2010, and 2011.
Getting to play for my university, it's when I became an aunt who was in university, so my nephews would come to the games. So I think that kind of crossroads of turning from like a kid into an adult and carrying that soccer over into that was kind of a cool part of my my soccer career, I'd say.
Once Elizabeth moved on to her teaching career, she shared her skills with young athletes, helping coach St. Mary's High School to a provincial volleyball championship in 2017.
We co-coached a volleyball team together, and we also coached basketball together. And so for me, what I found was so great for her was the way that she could not just relate to the athletes because of her own abilities. And so many young women still that I come across at our high school that I work at still talk about her as in this legendary status as who she was as an athlete, but she just related to people so well too. So she not only got the respect of her athletes because of who she was as an athlete, but because of who she was as a person.
Elizabeth has always been a fierce competitor, but humble in her success and a strong advocate for sports and athletes in her hometown of Prince Albert.
I put a lot of my life into sports and this community, so I think I'm just honored. I think it's pretty incredible.
The Prince Albert Sports Hall of Fame is proud to welcome Elizabeth Tanaski in the athlete category.